I'm going to set up here and chat with you for the next little while. I was recently in Kenya, and I've got some lovely pictures and stories that I'd like to share. My name is Nina Chung, and I'm the founder of Elimu. I think pretty much everybody in this room knows that, but if you didn't, now you do. And as I said, I've just been in Kenya, April through July, and I would like to share a little bit. This is the first time I've been able to be face-to-face with many of you for quite some time, so it's a really special joy for me today. And it's my chance to share and update you from the last time, which I think was 2019, that I was standing here telling you a little about the Elimu journey. And here we are, 2022. I'm going to step back in time a little bit, just to remind us that our projects are mostly based in Malindi. We're working in Kenya in the field of education, entrepreneurship, and skills development. Malindi is on the coast of Kenya, and that's one of the most under-resourced areas, semi-arid. So there are lots of kids and families struggling to get education, and that's what got me started. And how it all started, this is now an image that many of you will recognize. James and Joseph came into my life in 2005. I went over on a volunteer posting for a couple of years, and well, I got a little stuck and never really fully left, and started by taking these two young fellows to kindergarten. Their grandmother was doing odd jobs, laundry, housekeeping, and couldn't manage to pay the school fees. We kept James and Joseph in high school, in kindergarten. They moved on to primary school, and I'm going to let you know a little bit about where they are today. But that led to something that we called Nyumbani Kwetu. That means Shenu in Swahili. And it was a home for children, basically abandoned children, cared for by this one grandmother. And I invited in one of her daughters to come in and act as the house mother. And together we raised these children, and today they are 17. I still refer to them as children, as one does as parents, but most of them are not children anymore. That was 2005. This is 2022. When I was back in May, I organized a weekend in Nairobi, and my grown-up kids came to hang out with me. And these ones are all either into college and university or beyond, and starting their own businesses or working at jobs and starting families. So many of you in this room know how wonderful that feels. And it's especially wonderful when they're not really your kids, but somehow they are your kids. These three ladies are 3 of 5 that graduated from high school this year. And they'll be going off to vocational colleges in September, just the next couple of weeks. And so one of my reasons for going at this time was to be able to catch up with them and to be involved in the whole arrangements of getting them off to college. For these children, most of their families, their aunts, uncles, parents, never did make it even through primary school, much less to high school, and certainly not to college or university. We had a bit of a tough year, this 2022. I'm calling it my year of loss. So we've lost 4 really special ladies in this year. The wife of my CEO died in February. When I was there, we lost one of our dear staff, a founding member of our team. Shortly after that, we lost one of our beneficiaries, Hadija, who was the young lady who was the first in her community, her village community, to be able to complete high school and had such a bright future. And dear Elizabeth, whom we used to call Eliza, passed away very suddenly just 3 weeks ago. So I was back in Canada for that one. And it's a tough time. I was really thankful I was with my team for the first 2 events. But what really buoyed me up and kept me going is the fact that I know that the time that Eliza had, she was able to do the best that she could do with her education. Schooling was really, really important to her. She was a good student. She worked hard. She performed well. She loved her college studies. She would have graduated in October and got on with her career. But it's just my joy to know that I gave her that and that I had a hand in making that educational journey through her childhood and her youth something really positive and meaningful. And really that's been my motivation for all of my children. So just to give you a glimpse at the social environment and why is Elimu needed. So in Kenya, primary school is called free. So you don't really pay fees, but there's an admission fee. You need uniforms. Parents are now having to pay for the lunches. Exams have expenses. So there's lots of little barriers along the way. High school is not free, so you pay some hefty, for us they would seem small, $900 a year. For a boarding school, $300 a year for a day school, but in poverty, those are huge numbers, and if you've got 2, 3, 5, 6 children, it becomes really difficult to keep them in school. In the coastal area, the transition from primary to high school is very low, and of course, those who manage to get through school, parents are able to pay the school fees. It's been well shown that impoverished households, the children just don't perform as well. They don't have the support, the backup. Often the parents are undereducated. And of course, there is the situation for girls. Now, if you're a poor family and you've got a bunch of boys and a bunch of girls, often the boys will get the chance to go to school and the girls will get married off. So in coastal Kenya, 18% of girls actually don't make it to high school. But I'm very happy to stand here and say all these girls in this picture made it. And they're all going off to college in September. They graduated with the COVID years. They graduated in April, and they've been with us at Elimu Resource Center, where they're getting computer skills. And we kind of journey with them through this sensitive time after high school, guiding them towards college programs and helping them to get bursaries and student loans so that their career dreams can actually be affordable for them. So I don't want you to just hear my voice today. I'm going to let you listen to Gideon and Marasha, who is going to talk to us about what it means for him to be able to get to school.
I'm Gideon Marasha, and I'm studying in a school known as Swaboys, which is located in Kwale County. I'm living with my grandparents and my 2 younger siblings. My grandparents used to work for the government here. They were government employees, but they retired. So the only source of income is their pension, which is not enough to provide for us all and pay my school fees. I was always sent home for fees. This has had that negative impact in my studies. I usually got myself far much behind. Being in a boarding school has been a really good thing. It has enabled me to manage my time well. I'm in a full control of my time. I wanted to be a doctor if by the time I'm done with my studies. I'm doing all the effort that is needed to be a doctor. Something that has been really pushing me, being a successful man, is that I would want to be an independent person who will a responsible person who will provide for his family. Throughout this holiday, I've been coming to this Elimu Resource Center. I've been provided with learning materials which have been helpful to me, and I've gotten a lot. I'm excited to go back to school because I just want to make those dreams the dreams that I have to make them true. I'm learning a lot of things now, and one of them is that you can't go anywhere without God.
So as Gideon says, he's cared for by his grandparents because his parents have passed away, and they couldn't afford to take care of all of the 3 grandchildren, and there are other grandchildren. And so what happens is a few school fees get paid, you go to school for a week or 2, then there's a debt, you get sent home until your parents or grandparents or caregivers can come up with the money again. Sometimes you're home for a week, 2, 5, 10, 15, and so you fall behind. And it's very, very hard to aim high and to perform well when you're constantly in and out of school. Getting to go to a boarding school also means that you're away from all the big challenges at home and the other kinds of issues that arrive when you live in poverty. You can just focus on your studies, focus on doing your best, and as you can see, he's really motivated to do that. By 2014, we were working with 4 educational projects running: the Sewing Project, Stay in School Project, which sponsors Gideon and others, and those young ladies that I just showed you, Upendo School, which had been built by then for a village community and is now up and running. We handed that over to them for management, and the Nyumbani Kwetu home. We started, our first board meeting was in 2010, and we're now registered in Canada, the US, and in Kenya. This was the big game changer for Elimu. Elimu Resource Center. It started off as a 1-room library, digital library, and that opened in 2016. In 2018, we got this wonderful building. Don't own it, we rent it, but if anybody would like to buy me a building in Kenya, this is the building I would like to buy. So working on that a whole lot. So we went from being able to host about 80 students in 2016 to 300 in this beautiful 4-story building. There's a lovely swimming pool underneath the baobab tree, so we can rent that out as well. And we're really working into the world of income generating now. So this is how it all started. Digital libraries, that means that kids come and they use Kindles, they use our Colibri EduTech platform, they get access to storybooks and tutorials, maths and sciences, and the kinds of things that they need to boost their studies, get their homework done, and come in the holidays to improve themselves and actually advance before they go back to school. And in the middle of all of that, they're getting digital skills, which we all know are so important in this day and age. So that's what we focus on with our primary and high school students. After high school, we have what we call Cisco Networking Academy, which is a very, very beautiful program put together by Cisco. It's a suite of amazing courses that are all related to computer skills, especially in the world of networking. And so those young ladies that we saw a little while ago, after graduation, they come in and they stay with us for a few months, and they join our Cisco Networking Academy, and they learn. Some of them have not touched a computer. With Cisco, they actually learn to use the computer, what the internet is all about, and they can take it apart and put it back together again. It's about a 4-month course. They get a certificate at the end that's an internationally recognized certificate, and that's helping them get jobs. It helps them to find that love for technology that they've never been exposed to. So many of them are going on for further studies. And you can even set yourself up as a technician. Minor repairs, setting up, downloading software, setting up printers, and it's a really great way to improve their employability and help guide their futures. With our programs for youth after high school, so that's our real concentration is entrepreneurship and employability. And we also bring in interns. So kids are getting opportunities to test out different careers, to work in a professional digital environment as volunteers and interns, and to have access to the Cisco networking courses. The one sitting with me is Cynthia. So she came in as an intern, a university intern, worked with us for about 6 months. She actually instigated what we now call our Youth Info Forum. So we love to do that. Young people come in with their great ideas. We give them free rein. And we say, okay, that's a great idea. Manage it. And off they go. They have to figure out how to budget, how to make connections, how to do some marketing, how to gather the rest of the team. And they make it happen. And they learn all kinds of amazing things in the process. And we've kept it going. Cynthia remained with us after her internship, which is very common. They stay on, they volunteer for months and months and months, getting a little tiny stipend that sort of covers lunch and travel. And then we eventually hired her, and she became our first communications staff person. She shone and shone and shone until she attracted a Dutch online magazine group that hired her off. And she now travels around East Africa and beyond and is really building an amazing career. And so we're not sorry that she got headhunted because it's all part of what we want to do for them. We built her up and she's just on her way to a wonderful career, and that's what we really want for her. And she established our communications position, and we have a new wonderful communications person working with us, and lots of wonderful interns. We don't just work with the children, but with our Stay in School sponsorship program, we really are focusing on families. And so the parents are also very important to us. So we work with them, also with entrepreneurship training. We organize something called SILK. It's a savings and loan group where they can come in and we teach them how to save, and then we start them taking small loans, and they can use that to boost a business that they already have or to start a new business. When they run out of money for rent and so on, they can take a small loan. And so it just keeps them moving through those gaps. And while we take on 1 or 2 children for school fees, they will slowly be able to take on the school fees for the other children. First of all, we stabilize them so they can pay the rent and the food, and then they start being able to care for the family. Because our goal is total independence from us as soon as possible, but it'll take you maybe 3 or 4 years. So again, I'd like you to hear from one of our parents. So single moms are a big proportion of our family heads. Last year, out of 21 families, 15 were headed by single moms.
Ni mwanabiashara wa samaki na karanga samaki nikiuza. Mwaka juzi 2020 ndio nikapata msaada wa mtoto wangu mmoja ambaye sasa yuko form 4 anamaliza, ako Nyeri Othaya Girls. Alafu kufikia 2021 nikajiunga na Table Bank ama tuseme Silk. Na ninashukuru hiyo chama imenisaidia. Kwanza tulianza tunabwaga kwa kila mwezi, unasave, unakopa, mwisho wa mwaka unavunja, unachukua chako cha wenyewe unarudisha. Mwaka huu tukaona ni tamu zaidi, mpaka tukaona ni heri tucheze kwa mwezi mara 4. Kila siku ya Ijumaa tunakutana hapa, tunasave, haya unakopa, unasaidika. Hata nikiwa hapa sina shida, kwa sababu nikiwa nimekosa kaunga nyumbani nakuja hapa nachukua, naenda nunua chakula na watoto shuleni wanaendelea kusoma. Imenisaidia kwa hiyo biashara yangu ya kuuza samaki, hasa mahali nikiona kama imeenda chini, ninakuja ninachukua, ninaenda inua. Na hata upande wa shule inanisaidia sana, watoto wangu hawajalala nyumbani. Miaka iliyopita kabla sijiunga na hii elimu, nilikuwa na maisha ya shida sana. Nilikuwa na maisha kuhangaika. Yaani mtu ambaye najiona ni mtu ambaye najipata ninateseka. Kila nikipiga hatua naona sisongi. Lakini tangu nilipojiunga hapa nimeona mwangaza mkubwa, kwa sababu nikienda mahali nikiwa ninaona nimegonga ukuta, nikija hapa nikipata mashauri kwa Mama Wamboi, ninaona akili yangu inatulia.
So she's talking about the impact of joining Elimu, being in the Silk group. So it becomes, it's not just a savings and loans group. They were meeting once a month. They decided amongst themselves they're going to start meeting weekly so that they can save money, especially for those parents who have kids that are in the end of high school and are getting ready for college, so that they can start saving for that. And they made that decision amongst themselves. So they end up having sort of a little support group around them. We actually call it our prayer circle as well, and several of the parents are elected as representatives from the different grade levels, and so they really manage that group themselves and work together, support each other. And the Elimu Resource Center is a place where they can come and hang out. When things are not going well, they've got somewhere to come for advice and just consolation. And when things are going well, there's somewhere to come and celebrate. So she's just talking about the difference that has made. Being alone, struggling by yourself, not even making it, hitting the wall, to now having a place where you can go for support, where you can actually go for some funding, and lots of training in good things that will help you live some brighter future. So also with our Cisco Networking Academy, we go out to the greater community, not just focusing on kids. Border taxi drivers are a big population, most of them undereducated, most of them struggling. And nowadays, you also have to be able to use the internet to access the government portals in order to do your licensing and registrations. And they can spend a lot of money in a cyber cafe. So we do a free program for these people and bring them in and give them that computer training so they can do it for themselves and save all that money. We also work now, we've started to do some work with children that have graduated grade 8 and they're not going to be able to make it to high school for their various learning issues, and trying also to work with them to give them some digital skills and some work skills and help them to be able to get to vocational college so that they can get those kinds of skills to be able to make jobs and careers for themselves. I'm going to let you hear from this lovely lady, Anna. She is one of the few female border taxi drivers, and she was in one of our courses, and it did a big deal for her.
Kwa majina naitwa Ann Dambi Mateka. Mimi ni mama wa watoto 4 na ni mama mwendeshaji bodaboda. Katika harakati zangu za kuendesha bodaboda, nilikutana na shirika moja lilikuwa linaitwa Cisco, ambao lilifadhili wana bodaboda, wakaweza kutufundisha mambo ya kompyuta. Tulikuwa tunafundishwa katika Elimu Resource Center. Sisi kusema ukweli hatukutoa hata shilingi. Mimi mwanzo tulipoambiwa nilishindwa, hiyo shule tunaenda soma bila pesa ni shule gani? Na nikaenda nikaona, lakini cha ajabu hatukuitisha wala shilingi 10 wala admission fee wala nini. Tulisoma tukagraduate bure na tukakula bure, hakuna kitu tulitoa. Mimi kwa wakati niliozaliwa na kukua kwangu nilikuwa sijai kutana na kompyuta, naziona lakini nilikuwa sijui ni nini wewe inaendelea, tunaoparichaje. Lakini ule mwaliko tuliwalikwa pale na tukatambulikana. Kwanza mimi kama mama nilisikia nimeingia kiwango kingine. Hilo shirika liliweza kutufundisha mambo na kompyuta. Saa hii nashukuru, nilisoma mpaka nikagraduate pale, niko na certificate. Nashukuru niko kiwango kingine, mkiniona hivyo ni kiwango kingine kwa sababu mambo ya kompyuta uniambii kitu.
So she is, she's thinking about the school level, right? What kind of school do you go to? You don't have to pay any fees. Surely it's all fake. But no, we do that when we do it just for this group. We also, we work with a girls' rescue center. We've gone into prisons with our digital tools, and we do all of that at no cost. So Anne was very appreciative that as a woman, we would invite her to be part of this. She had never touched a computer. She'd seen them from a distance. And as you may have read at the end there, she proudly announces that today there's nothing that you're going to tell me. I can do it all by myself. So, it boosts her self-esteem. One of the things I've really learned, these sorts of things, giving people skills, improving their employability, Their ability to make income really boosts their self-esteem and their status in the community. And taking kids to school is a real huge boost to somebody's self-esteem. There's nothing like being, especially a mom, but also a dad, who can't take your kids to school. You really feel terrible about that. And everybody in the community knows it. So once your kids are back to school, you get back to being a normal member of society. I want to talk a little bit more about our youth interns and volunteers. This is an area that we're really hoping to develop a lot more in the future. We've just had so much, just seeing the impact that this is having on these young people, it's really, really motivating us to do more. So we're going to start connecting with the business community and colleges and universities so that we can get attachments for them, get them out there, getting work placements, and try to, a lot of them are getting jobs from having their Cisco networking academy certificates. So we want to start sort of formalizing that and working with the business community, not just in Malindi, but around, so that we can help our kids actually to get jobs as well as all of the skills and training that they need. So this is going to be an area that you'll hear me coming back to as we try to put it together into something more formal and raise some funds to make it happen. I'm going to let you hear from Christine, who is one of our alumni. So she graduated last year. With COVID, she ended up staying on a little longer as a volunteer. So she's been with us for over a year, but she's just ready to go off to college. She's one of the ones that gained a real love for technology, and she's going to be going off to do computer studies in September.
Hello, my name is Christine Kioko. I'm 19 years old. I came in to know Elimu during my high school when my parents could not afford the school fees for the 4 years. Elimu sponsored me. After high school, I wanted to do nursing, but my grades could not allow me. I felt so disappointed, but I did not lose hope. I joined Cisco Networking Academy at Elimu, and I did the IT session course, and I'm currently doing CCNA course. This is where I found the love for IT, and I'm hoping to go to college and pursue a diploma in IT. During my free time, I also volunteered at Elimu in the front desk and some other work which I could be able to do. I have also helped the Cisco instructor to teach some students who had passion in computer studies. I have gained experience on teamwork with the Elimu staffs. We have been supporting each other. I would like to encourage young people not to give up in life and be open-minded. And they should also seek some areas for growth and be ready to face some challenges in life. Short courses and volunteering is one of the best methods to face some challenges and be ready for the future.
So the joy of Christine was she performed pretty well at high school. She finished with a C plane, and she was determined that she was going to do nursing. But her marks were not good enough to take her to nursing school. So as far as she was concerned, at 18, life was over. That was it. There was nothing ahead of her. And so this is where it's really, really fun to step in and open up their minds, bring them in and give them the experiences. It took her a little while to, open up. And the Cisco courses are a little tough, so it's not an easy thing to do. But as she kind of slogged it out, and then we put her onto the reception desk, and she started interacting with the kids that were coming. And, the light bulb went on, and the lights came on, and eventually she really, really enjoyed what she was doing with technology, and now she's off to university to do computer studies. And in the meantime, our Cisco instructor has had her actually leading the class. So once she graduated, she was teaching the ones coming after her. And she's gained all kinds of strength and power and skills and talents and things she didn't even know she had in her. So she's going off a much more positive young lady. And that's my joy. Oh, so we do still have our sewing program. And we basically try again just to sort of modernize these girls' skills, teach them how to use computers to their benefit, their professional benefit, how to promote their businesses using WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram. I was very blessed to be there when they were actually graduating and getting their sewing machines from us. That was in April. And so that day I just did a little kind of town hall with them and sat and chatted and listened to their hopes for the future. It's one of the happiest days of their lives. They're getting their brand new foot pedal Singer sewing machine, that same one that your grandmother has in, or maybe you still have in your basement. They do still produce them in India, and they're used all over Africa, India, Asia. Perfect for a place that doesn't have electricity. They get on and do their work. They learn to maintain them as well as to use them. So many of these girls already had customers waiting for them in their villages as soon as they got the machines home. And Pendo, who we're going to hear from right now, was actually telling me, I'm not going to stop at just being a businesswoman, I'm going to be a teacher. So the beauty of that is that she's taking the skills that we've given her and she's passing them on to other girls and women in her village. So let's listen to how excited she is on the day that she got her machine.
Naitwa Pendo kutoka Marafa. Yaani ninasikia raha kila wakati kwa sababu kufikia saa hii niko na ujuzi wangu. Yaani najisaidia mimi mwenyewe. Yaani hata saa hii dress nimevaa nimejisania mwenyewe. Nikitoka hapa niko na wateja tayari, sitaenda kulala. Napenda yani niende kiwango chengine. Matumaini yangu mwaka ukiisha, mwaka ujao napenda niende shule tena.
The beauty of Pendo, along with being so excited that she's made her own dress and that she knows that this machine is what's going to make her future, she's already thinking about further studies. So she's already seen that she wants some more skills, she wants to do other things. She's got a forward-thinking, future-thinking mentality. She's going to be a real entrepreneur. And when she gets back to her village, because she is an income generator, nobody is going to want to marry her off. She will now start taking her siblings to school. She will provide for her parents when they don't have the money, and nobody wants to send her away. So marriage will be her own choice in the future. One of the other really fun things that we do is exposing our kids to things that they would just never have an opportunity for. So we have lots of various partners and friends around. We had a group come from Ireland and also South Africa, Mabel Foundation and Friends for Ireland. And they came in and taught our sewing girls how to make feminine hygiene packages, little kits. And so these, again, are skills that the girls can use and go and sell products in their villages. And also once in a while, Mabel Foundation contacts us and says, oh, we have a children's home or a school that needs 50 kits. We do them up and the girls make a little bit of money from that. We had Shannon from Tomfoolery, an LA designer, come in 2019 and work with our girls for a month and develop her jumpsuits into an African line and then take those to Paris for Paris Fashion Week. So our girls were vicariously involved in Paris Fashion Week, and when the launch happened, we could all watch it live streamed. I was in Canada, our LA partner was in Los Angeles, the girls were in Malindi, it was all happening in Paris, and we were all together at the same time watching it happen. So those are the kinds of wonderful things that we can do with technology. And of course the Pendo dolls, which are on sale at the back of this very room, and that came up as an idea from our partner in Los Angeles, Elimu Girls. And that's how we kind of kept our girls busy during COVID. When the college had to be closed down, we couldn't do studies, but we could do business activities. So that was our business activity, and it kept our girls busy. We have got this wonderful new component to our sewing program called the Artisan Maker Space. And this is kind of a resource, again, for graduates and alumni. So they are now coming in and getting access to machines, some of these electrical machines, that they can't find in their communities. They could certainly not afford for themselves. And we bring trainers in. So once a month they come and they get a training. They're making bags and backpacks, different kinds of uses of leftover clothes, how to repurpose things, beadwork for leather, beadwork for cloth. We're going to be getting into jewelry making. And all of that, again, is just adding skills, adding ways for them to gain an income and to boost their businesses. And the last thing that I want to talk about today is this e-learning solution that's called Colibri. So this is one of those software packages that you download onto a laptop, and through the Wi-Fi signal of the laptop, tablets, smartphones, laptops can access the content that is on the laptop now. So we're getting that into schools, and that means that good quality content that is being used by all kinds of other children around the world is now accessible in places that wouldn't normally have access. This is an intranet system, so it doesn't need the internet. And we're also working on building it in with solar power so that it can work in places that don't even have electricity. So when COVID hit again, our EduTech manager started looking at how can we get this signal of ours out further outside the building. And so he managed to do what we are now calling the e-learning innovation, and that boosts the Wi-Fi signal. The first time it was 3 kilometers, now we can get it out 10 kilometers, and that means that the computer that's housed at Elimu Resource Center is accessible at a school that's 3 kilometers away. We give them tablets, and their kids got back to school in October and started working with our content. And our goal is to get that signal out into the community so that kids can also be working from home. So unfortunately, we're not quite there yet, but we are still really working on that. It has lots and lots of applications in Kenya. The little pilot school that we set up in Malindi, like I said, they went back to school October 2020. They did their grade 8 exams, it's a primary school, in May of 2021. And their mean score jumped from 59% in 2019 to 66% in 2020. That's a good 32 marks up. And that was with the kids having been out of school for 8 months, a shorter year, and lots of stresses. And so just getting access to proper learning content makes an immediate impact on kids' performance. We've been able to take that further. We've got, I think, 5 schools and a couple of children's homes up and running right now. So 70 teachers have been trained, and over 600 students are working with that system. And this is kind of the new. For this year, we had a pilot project with UNESCO and the Ministry of Education in Kenya when they learned of what we're doing. And so this was a bigger pilot that took it a little bit further. We set up a more robust computer server at this high school called Garissa, and then we put up bigger routers and some towers and boosted the signal. So there's a primary school 5 kilometers away is able to access the same computer, and we can set it up so that there's content for primary schools, there's content for high school, and this basically just really expands the resources that teachers have available for their kids. This is all solar, so again, it's not needing electricity, not needing the internet. So stability, great, also secure for kids that don't get onto the internet and get into all kinds of other things that we don't want them to get into. We just launched this in, what was the date? August 9th, I think it was, just very recently, although we've been working on it for the last year or so. And the reason this is so important to us is the fact that we're serving remote rural communities that are really struggling with the issues of lack of internet, lack of stable electricity, and it's a solution for getting decent quality educational materials, lightweight, easy to install, and easily available. So we're hoping that this is going to be something that will go much further beyond the Garissa pilot project. So please stay tuned to see how that will go. So as I wrap up, just give you an idea of where we've come by 2022. Our Stay in School project currently has about 46 children, continuing through their various levels. We have had 30 graduates since 2014. Our sewing project is benefiting about 35 young women right now, and we have had 70 alumni start up their own businesses. Our Cisco Networking Academy, which was just established in 2019, is currently having 30 current students and 50 alumni that have graduated. And I already mentioned about 600 students and 70 teachers with our offline e-learning. And the new UNESCO Ministry of Education pilot, that's bringing on board 4,500 students and 100 additional teachers. And our digital libraries, before COVID, we were seeing 16,000 student visits per year. Now that all went downhill since COVID, but it is starting to pick up again, and we expect to return to those kinds of numbers in 2023. And the important question, how can you help us keep all of this going? So just to give you a quick sample of some of our costs and to show you that every dollar really does help. $5 can go towards sewing materials, textbooks, a couple of math sets for kids. $25 gets a school uniform or backpack. $50 will get us fabrics for our girls for a semester. Those computer courses are about $150 per student. And school year at a day school is $300, and boarding high school somewhere between $900 and $1,500 a year. How can you support? We have a wonderful website, elimu.ca, where we do receive donations, and you can set up monthly donations. Monthly donating helps us a lot because it just helps with our budgeting and knowing what kind of funds are coming in. $15 a month will pay lunch for a student for a whole year. $25 per month will actually put a student through school at day school. And $50 a year will help cover the utility costs of our Nyumbani Kwetu home. I am going to finish, and then I'll allow you to ask any questions that you might have, by this young lady who's going to tell us her poem. So it's very common in Kenya at school to have to write poems and get up and give poems. And so this young lady, as her homework exercise, wrote a poem about Elimu Resource Center. And so my very savvy communications coordinator has captured that, and I'd like to just share that with you now.
My name is Spirit Akinyi. I'm from Barani Secondary School. I'm here in Elimu Resource Center. In this holiday, I was here and I experienced everything. There are some things which you are not taught in school, but I have come to realize that they are here in Elimu Resource. Elimu Resource Center, what a wonderful place. It helps students and even pupils. It is a source of achievement and also excellence. Elimu Resource, what a wonder it is. Students pass and achieve their goals. Some are doctors and others are teachers. It helps students, those with questions. Elimu Resource, what a wonder it is. It has tablets and also computers. It has textbooks and even storybooks. Not only silence, but also respect and friendship. Elimu Resource, what a wonder it is. It offers sponsorship and even membership. It supports students, those with talent. It also assists students in various activities. Elimu Resource, what a wonder it is. I'm proud of Elimu. It's really helped me. I was the last, but now the first. My own performance is good and great. Elimu resource, what a wonder it is. Please parents, allow us children to go to Elimu to get what's the best, to achieve our dreams and be the future leaders. Elimu resource, what a wonder it is. Pleasure.
So that's really what I would like to share with you today. I must finish with James and Joseph, as I started with James and Joseph. What are they doing now? Joseph is pursuing his degree in business studies, is in second year. We WhatsApp regularly. I communicated with him just this week. And James is finishing his diploma in journalism and multimedia. He will be graduating this year and moving on to his career. So another heartwarming thing for me. So I'll just finish up by directing you to our website for information. Some of those stories that I've shared with you today are on our YouTube channel. So if you go to elimu.ca, you will find little dots up at the top of the page that will take you to our Facebook, our YouTube, our Twitter, Instagram. And if you're not already on our newsletter list, you can sign up online, or you can sign up today right at the back. All I need is an email. And I don't bombard, I promise, but I will send out sort of 3 or 4, I think email I send out 6 times a year. And it's just really to keep you on top of the projects and the new developments and what's going on. So thank you so much for coming today. I know it's a beautiful day and we won't have so many more, and you have given up your time to come and sit in an indoor space and listen to me, and I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much for all your support, for being here today. God bless you, and I am happy to answer any questions that anybody might have at this time.